A longtime friend of Nelson Mandela told a South African newspaper today that it's time to let him go. Andrew Mlangeni, who was imprisoned with Mandela on Robben Island, wished him a speedy recovery, but also called on his family to release him spiritually. As the former president remains in hospital with a recurring lung infection, there's been no further update on his health since it was confirmed yesterday that he was in a serious but stable condition. Well, Debora Patta joins us now from Pretoria. What's the latest on his condition?
Well, you said it, there has been no further updates, and this has been now well over 36 hours. So the status quo remains. He is serious but in a stable condition, and he is able to breathe on his own. It is rather unusual, though, that there haven't been updates, because normally we get one on a daily basis when Mandela has taken ill before. So this is very worrying. I can tell you, though, that his wife, Graça Michelle, has been with him constantly. She went with him when the ambulance was rushed to the hospital in the early hours of yesterday morning. Nelson Mandela suffers from a recurring lung infection. He's been hospitalized 4 times in the past 6 months with this problem, and it actually dates back to 1988 when he was in prison. And he was first diagnosed with tuberculosis. Then he was rushed to hospital once again, and more than 8 cups of fluid was removed from his lungs. So this is something he's had to battle for a long time. It keeps on recurring, and obviously with his advanced age, it has become an increasingly problematic medical issue.
Can you tell us about these reports of tension within the family, and also just explain this appeal culturally on them to let him go?
Members of his family arrive here, his daughter Makaziwe and 2 of his grandchildren. They hit the headlines a couple of weeks ago. 2 of Nelson Mandela's children are suing Mandela for control of his trust, 2 of his trusts which control his money, and we're talking about a lot of money, millions. They say it should rest with the family. What the trustees are saying is that it should actually rest with them. And it's interesting that it's coming at a time that Nelson Mandela's voice is fading. He can't really speak for himself because of his health, and we understand from that his household, in fact, keeps newspapers away so he doesn't get to hear of the bitter feud over his millions. As you said, old friends are looking on. They've looked on this in askance, saying this is unseemly behavior. You mentioned Andrew Mlangeni earlier, another old friend of Nelson Mandela. He spoke today, saying that perhaps it's time for us to start getting to the point where we let Mandela go, that it's time to release him, that we should not hold on to this any longer. And certainly in South Africa, we're getting the sense that many South Africans are hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst.
Debora Patta, thank you.